Inhale your right leg high. Step your right foot outside your right hand, and then left foot outside your left hand. And we're coming into yogi squat, hands to prayer, and I'll face you here. So your toes are out wide, heels turned in, prayer at the chest, elbows in front of the thighs, and then keep puffing your heart up into your thumbs, right? And if it's really tight here in your hips, you can lift your seat as high up as it needs to be. You want to give yourself space for the shoulders to roll back and open. So if you come into a deeper squat and find that the shoulders are rolling in, right, then take the hips a little higher, take the elbows a little higher, and give your space, your heart the space here to keep the chest rising. And then your elbows energetically press back into your thighs to help open the inner hips like a book. And you can stay here with the hands in prayer, or you can tent your fingers out to the side and wing your left arm up. If this feels like it's a lot, you'll stay. If you're going further, left hand can drop to your low back. Take the half bind and lay your spine into your forearm some more. Those have the full bind, right hand will clasp the fingertips behind you here. Right triceps in front of the inner right thigh and knee. And then shift some more weight back into your left foot. We have a tendency here to put more weight into the side where you're binding. So readjust and look for that evenness. Now we're looking for the hip opener, but at the same time, squeeze your sitting bones inwards towards one another. So there is still an upward rise of energy. Notice if you're tensing in the shape, it can be intense. If so, try and breathe a little more into the space of the hips. Go ahead and release your fingertips down. Turn your toes forward, lengthen your legs, drop your head, and with the feet a little wider, Uttanasana. Heel toe your feet in towards one another. Roll your way up to stand. Bring your right knee up into your chest. And then take the right knee a little wider towards the right shoulder, left hand, left hip. And then take your peace fingers to your right big toe. You can stay here, or you can go for half happy baby pose. So the right knee hugs back, sole of the right foot points forward. If this is a lot, you can always bend your left knee a little here. That'll give you space in the hips, right? And if it's too much to hold the foot, you can even hold onto the ankle if that's a better fit. And then keep hugging the right knee back and keep pressing your right hip point forward. Good. And then if you want to lengthen your leg out fully to the right side here, take it Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Beautiful. Step your feet together. High prayer, breathe in. So still facing the front of your mat, let's switch standing legs. Bend your left knee behind you. Grab to the inside of your foot for dancer's pose. Kick the foot back, reach the chest up, tip the chest forward. Keep reaching up through the right fingers, keep the chest rising. Let there be a strong kick of the left foot into the hand, but then keep hugging your left shoulder forward. Wobbling is definitely part of the process for this one. Find one point to gaze at. Let it be forward so that the heart stays rising. And then soften both knees to step them together. Light landing, high prayer. Forward fold. Step your left foot back, low lunge. Heel toe your right foot wider to the right side of your mat. Lizard pose, drop your back knee down. Point the left toes. If this is a lot, you'll stay on your fingertips. You can come onto your forearms here. Elbows right under the shoulder. If the ground is far, you can slide blocks underneath them as well. And then let the pelvis descend here. Keep pressing down into the right knee, into the right big toe. Look for softening here in the spaces that feel tight. Notice if your natural reaction is to tense up and work against yourself. If so, just observe that and then do the opposite. Those that want to bind, you can bend your left knee and reach back with your right hand. You might need to turn your left forearm in, reach back for the foot, and then kick. If that's too much, you can even come onto the palm of the left hand instead so that the chest is higher up and the bind might be a little more accessible here. Press into your left hand a lot so that you don't collapse weight onto the left shoulder. Strong kick of the back foot opens the right shoulder. Keep rolling the chest up, belly spiraling towards the right leg. And then come on down. Everybody, walk your hands back in. Pyramid, straighten both legs. Hop the back foot in a little. Hands are on the inside of the right foot for this one. And then rebend, just step it back, down dog. If you're taking a vinyasa, go ahead and move forward to your plank. Lower halfway into your chaturanga, strong elbows, strong belly. Fly your chest up, Ardha Mukha, and then meet each other in down dog. Good. Left leg rises. Wide low lunge. Right foot outside. Right hand, yogi squat. Pray your hands at your chest. Roll your shoulders up, back, and then down. Keep the chest rolling open. Observe if the shoulders cave in. If so, lift your seat a little higher. If your heels are high off the ground, you can widen your feet off the mat. Right? So take a wider stance so that there is space for the heels to come to the ground completely. If you went for the variation, left fingertips will tend to the ground, right arm up. If you went further, right hand, low back. Those that went for full bind, left fingertips clasp to the right hand. See if you can stretch your right arm a little longer with the full bind. Keep rolling right shoulder back. Redistribute the weight evenly back into your right foot here. Squeeze your sitting bones together. So again, once there's hip opening action, but also stability. And then wherever you are, everybody come out of your variations. Fingertips down, turn your toes forward, lengthen your legs a little or a lot. Uttanasana fold. Heel toe your feet towards one another so that you narrow off the feet. Bend the knees, roll your way up. Go ahead and bring your left knee in towards your left shoulder. Right hand, right hip. If you're going further, peace fingers to the left big toe. Half happy baby. Start to press the sole of the foot forward. Right, so usually we take this in an even shape on our back sides. Right, keep hugging the left knee towards your left shoulder. Feel free to grab to the ankle instead if this is too much. Soften your right knee if you need. Prioritize the tall spine. And if you went further into Utthita Hasta, now you can lengthen your left leg out to the side. Right arm extends to the right side to counter. Keep the spine upright. Right, if you get there and you find that the spine starts to curl inwards, then bend your left knee. Strong through the low belly. And then step your feet together. High prayer. Switch standing legs. Bend your right knee this time and reach back for your right foot. Once you feel balanced here, then you'll start to tip forward through the chest and kick through the right foot. Keep the chest upright for today. Keep reaching up through the left hand so it guides your gaze upwards. Press down through the left big toe and think about your inner left thigh spiraling forward. It's going to give you a stronger leg. Good. Feet together, high prayer. Urdhva Hastasana, forward fold. Low lunge, step your right foot to the back of your mat. Heel toe your left foot wider to the left side. Drop your right knee down, come on down for lizard pose. Coming onto the forearms if that's accessible. Grabbing blocks under the forearms if you need them. Letting the left pelvis descend. Breathing into this one. Observing where it is that you hold tension. Observing what parts of the shape might be difficult. And instead of focusing on that, can you bring the attention back to the breath and smooth it out more? If you went for the variation, going for the bind, either walk your hands in if you need to be on your palm, or go ahead and turn your right forearm in, bend your back knee and reach back with your hand for the foot, and then kick and rotate the chest. Press down into your bottom hand or elbow, depending on the arm variation. Get the weight off of the right shoulder. Try not to sink into that. And then keep kicking through the foot and let that roll your left shoulder open. And if you took the bind, free up your foot. Everybody walk your hands back in to lift through the chest to the inside of the foot, tuck back toes under, straighten both legs, pyramid Parshvottanasana. Lengthen both legs, drop your head in. And then rebend, step your foot back, down dog, move through a vinyasa flow, chaturanga, breathe in up dog. I'll find you back in downward facing dog. Look forward, walk or jump your way to the top of the mat, and just come on down to your seat. You're going to take your left leg straight out in front of you and take a figure 4 shape of the right ankle towards the knee. And if you have a block, you can slide it underneath here. And then puff up through the chest, take a twist, Janu Sirsasana with the figure 4 variation. Right, and check in with this one. If it feels super easy and you know you have a full fire log pose, then you're going to rise back up and you're going to bend the bottom knee as well. And then it's ankles to knees, so you're going to really stack and make sure that the shins form one line. And then the bottom ankle is directly under the right knee, and then your left knee is directly under the right ankle. And for some of us, maybe this knee is high up. You can roll a towel, a blanket, or slide a block to connect the knee to the ankle if you need it. And then readjust the flesh of your seat. Puff up through the chest, and then fold. Maybe a little, maybe more, right? Just depends on where you are in this shape. And if you can get your elbows in front of the shins, lengthen the heart forward and drop your head in. And if you come into this shape and you realize that maybe it's not for you, go back into the Janu Sirsasana variation where your left leg is long straight out in front of you and the right ankle is at the left thigh. And you should feel in your glutes here. If the leg is long on the bottom, then you'll also feel it in your hamstrings. Keep flaring the sitting bones back and wide. Keep reaching the chest forward, whichever variation you're in. Even in our forward folds, there's an element of a back bend that helps us create more space in the low back. Staying for several breaths here, opening up into the hips deeply. Those of you that have an Ashtavakrasana arm balance variation, definitely feel free to use this time to take that shape instead. So I won't demonstrate that one today, but it's the one where you will lift back up, put your right leg behind your right shoulder, hook your toes, press on up through the arm balance, and kick your feet way out to the side. Your calves are clamping into your tricep if you're taking that shape. If that sounds like a bunch of crazy talk, you're going to not worry about it and stay here and get the hip opener. Okay. If you took the arm balance, come on out of it. Everybody, walk your hands in, lift up, both legs out in front of you, give it a shake out. And let's just take the other side. Right leg stays out in front of you, figure 4, left ankle, right thigh. And then puff up through the chest and fold. If you are going for the full ankle to knee variation, you will then bend your bottom knee. Take careful time to line up the shins, right? So it's not the same as where your Feet are in close in the cross-legged position. It's a bit more intense as you line up your shins in one line, making sure that the top ankle truly is stacked right over the bottom knee, top knee over the ankle. Press up, and then if you're folding, off you go. If you need to stay upright, then you'll stay upright, right? Even with the chest lifted, the shape can be really deep within the hips. And then settle into the shape. Allow it to welcome you in. Your job is to breathe into it and look for what parts of the joints and the muscles you could soften into more, where you could do less work and create space to then go deeper. Let it be an exploration of going inwards and traveling throughout your own being. If you took the arm balance variation, lift back up and play with that once again. If you're staying in stillness, folded, turning inwards, then remain there in your exploration. Every breath allows you to go deeper, not just physically, but also emotionally and mentally and spiritually. On the physical aspect, deeper may not be visible to the eye, but you will feel it as the energy starts to release, allowing the torso to sink deeper and deeper, allowing the spiritual journey to go deeper within. If you're playing with the arm balance, come on down. Everybody, walk your hands back in. Lift on up, legs straight out in front of you. Shake, shake, shake. Upavishta Konasana. Straddle fold, legs wide, wide V. Right, and you can use your hands to keep lifting the seat, sending it forward. The shape will look very different for everybody. Flex your feet a lot and roll the pinky toes back. So you want the external rotation of the legs. And then you can stay upright if this is enough. If you're folding, right, you can come on down to forearms. You can slide blocks here under your forearms. Check that the toes aren't rolling inwards as you start to fold, right? So if they roll inwards, you folded too far. Keep rotating the toes back. You want the toes pointing up so you get that external rotation here. And then maybe belly starts to flatten a little more. See how that feels. If you can go further, super. If you reach your edge, stay, play with it. If you get there and you find that you're tensing up deeply and the breath becomes short, that's also information that says you've gone too far. This is another one of those shapes where it requires constant check-in to see how you're doing in all parts of it. Do you feel like you're stressed out by this shape? If so, lift the chest up, narrow off the legs a little bit more, and try it again. Find that sweet spot where it feels like you can stay there comfortably, but it still feels like there's a lot of effort. And then your next breath in, rise back up. Walk your hands in if you took the fold. Hands underneath the thighs, bend the knees, and then bring your feet together. Lengthen your legs out on your mat. And Paschimottanasana, arms up by the ears. A final fold in. All right, feel free to keep the knees soft here if you need. That may allow the belly to fold a little closer to the thighs, but do let the head go completely. Allow yourself to drop in this final devotional bow into yourself. And then surrender into the shape. Release the muscles. Let it be an action of softening in. Eyes are closed. Third eye seeing more clearly as the two eyes that look externally shut off the external world. Shutting out the distractions, the things that pull us away from our true element. And then release your hands, roll back up, come onto your back side. One symmetrical happy baby to close our practice. Hug the knees wide into the shoulders. Grab to the outer edges of your feet. The elbows are on the inside of your knees, soles of the feet up. Bend the knees deeply down towards the ground. If you can't reach for your feet and be able to get your shins to that pretty vertical line, then hold to your ankles instead, or even to your calves. Right? So you want that deep squat action. Looks a lot like that yogi squat that we took together earlier, except we've been flipped upside down. Let the shoulders melt into the earth. Let the low back start to release and soften. Eyelids shut. Muscles in the face soften completely. Knees get heavier. Heel bones get heavier above the knees, giving you some extra weight. Check in, are you tensing into the hips and into the shape? Allow yourself to relax. And then release your feet. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock it around side to side. Circles with the knees in one direction if you want that. And then a few circles to the other direction as well. There's a final shape you need. Go ahead and take that now. Otherwise, lengthen your legs out for Shavasana. If you know you're going to want to stay in your Shavasana longer and allow yourself to come out on your own, then you can go ahead and switch off the audio now and go into your Shavasana for as long as you need. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. And if you want a guided Shavasana and want to be woken back up after, then keep the audio on. Close your eyes. Let your toes flop out. Your palms will face up. Take a big breath in together, everybody. Sigh it out through the toes. And I will stay in the seated meditation with you until those who want the guided Shavasana are ready to come out. See how heavy the bones can become. And let the back teeth part. Release your eyebrows. Let everything just dissolve down into the mat. The physical being almost seems like it ceases to be. The breath body rises up. All you feel is lightness as the subtle body almost separates from the physical body. And then commit here into the stillness. Allow yourself to surrender and go deep. On your next breath in, fill up a little more. Full breath in through the nose. Gentle sigh out through the lips. Draw the senses, the awareness back into the body, the physical being. Step your feet one at a time back into your mat, rebending the knees, taking your time, there's no rush. Stretch your arms long overhead, reach in opposite directions. Feel the front body become exposed. And tilt your way over onto your right side. Heavy yourself into the ground here for a moment. And your eyes will stay closed. Your hands will find the earth to help press you back up to sit. Coming back into your Sukhasana, comfortable seat, cross-legged. Connect to your tall spine, reach the crown of the head up. Connect to your roots as the seat grounds down. Let your palms meet one another at the center of your chest. Anjali Mudra, the gesture of gratitude. And as we Om, send this Om back into yourself. Let it be healing. Let it be full and generous and kind and loving. As you breathe in. Prayer lifts up to your third eye, the space right between your eyebrows, the place of your inner teacher, inner wisdom, and intuition, honoring that first and foremost always. Bow yourself down. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for practicing.